If you are interested in getting involved, you can use the Discord command in my stream. In my stream, we have a link to the Platinum Heroes Discord where you can get interested and sorry, I can't talk. Where you can get involved with the community. They offer free coaching from masters level coaches. It's an excellent community. I've loved my time there. If you're interested in competing in the VTL, we do have organizers that can get you involved if you want to play in these kind of matches. I would highly encourage you to check it out if you're interested in playing some competitive StarCraft. But enough about that. Let's move into the match here. We have Acropolis is going to be our third match here with Ris3n's ArcTic versus Platinum Heroes Magnath. In the bottom right corner, the pink Protoss, Magnath.
And spawning up in the top left as the yellow Zerg, Ris3n's ArcTic.
All right, so ArcTic having a very strong showing in that first match. He played in there an incredibly strong timing attack against Platinum Heroes Deuceman, just wiping out the Protoss before he had a chance to get going. Protoss is pretty vulnerable to those early timing attacks until they get their tech units out. And Deuceman did not have any tech units out, opting for that fast resonating glaives, but not finding any value with it. Okay, so we see Magnath already, a very quick diversion from Deuceman, sending that probe scout out after the gateway. Going to see that hatchery and know that no kind of crazy Ling timing is on the way, but going to get a full scout of the Zerg base here just to make. I'm a Protoss. Go ahead.
I really like this the early probe scout out of Protoss. There are some very crazy builds that can come out of Zerg. ArcTic also, again, opting for that the scout pool.
Right. There actually is a bit of a window here if Magnath hides that probe, but ArcTic seems to be a pretty on-point player. I'm sure he would scout if that probe didn't leave the base. Now, I'm a Protoss player myself, so I tend to be pretty familiar with the Protoss builds. What race do you play?
I'm a Zerg.
Ah, so perfect. We have the perfect team of casters to look at this game.
Yes, in all of the games so far.
Yeah, considering we've only had PvZ. Now, when we get a Terran, I'm going to have to lean on Gator in my chat being my resident Terran. I usually see a factory, and I'm like, huh, that builds units. All right. Looks like the standard safety ling's in production for ArcTic here. Going to make sure that there's nothing too fishy going on. Okay, we're going to see a Chronoed Adept out of Magnath. That does mean that he's going to be looking for some early damage on the Zerg, potentially, with that Adept. Those very first Adepts have potential to do a lot of damage if they're not well controlled by the...
He's also chosen to place his second pylon as far back in his main as possible, away from that Overlord. It's going to take him a while to find it, but I do believe that Overlord is going to see the Twilight Council going down.
If you look at the position of the rally there, I think it's going to be just out of vision. Let's take a look at the ArcTic. The Overlord does miss that Twilight Council.
Oh, he turned around.
He had it shift queued into the base there, and it turned around. I do see ArcTic selecting the Overlord now. Doesn't look like he's going to send it back. Now, interestingly, Magnath placed the robotics facility in his wall. I have seen him do this before. In the past, he has gone with a DT play through this build. Let's see if that's what he's doing here again. The option to hide that Twilight Council does kind of indicate some kind of secretive build here.
Indeed, yeah. He pokes the Adept up into the natural. Doesn't finish it. I think he saw a couple drones. Nothing out of the ordinary.
I did miss that Adept getting into the base there. Do see 0 kills on it. Let's take a look at the workers killed tab. 1 worker killed for yellow. So that means, I guess, Magnath got a single drone there. Okay, Pylon is down. Dark Shrine is on the way for Magnath. And there was a Roach Warren placed down. No safety spores on the way yet. And there is no lair.
8 roaches.
8 roaches in production. All right. I do think it's going to take more than 8 roaches to crack Magnath, especially with that robotics facility. He could pump out an Immortal with a Chrono if he needs it.
I do believe he's going to opt instead for the Archon drop here. First thing, right away.
Yeah. Okay, that's a lot of Ravagers.
He might not have time.
Now, if he has DTs at home, he can easily defend this Ravager pressure. But that does kind of give up the potential to take damage against the Zerg. ArcTic taking a third base behind this attack. Really good play.
Magnath just now sees a couple wings, and there's the roaches.
Okay, Warp Prism is down. That's going to help him a lot in microing against these Ravagers. Looks like it's rallied across. He needs to pay attention to the Stalker, not lose it to the Biles here, though the Pylon's going to be focused down. The DTs are warped in at home. That should hold this attack as long as he doesn't lose them to a Corrosive Bile.
Great snipe on that pylon. Removes the possibility of Immortals, but yeah, 2 DTs is going to be enough to clean this up.
You do see that Prism of Magnath being flown into the... Oh, he does pull it off there. It's not completely in the base yet. Looking to get some damage with these DTs. So far, only a Pylon and a Stalker killed for ArcTic out of these units. Ravagers are very expensive.
And he knows now he has to just try and get whatever done he can while they're still alive. Diving into that natural,
can't believe...
going straight for the probes.
I was going to say, I can't believe that first Bile didn't hit a single probe. Oh my gosh, how many workers went down there? So we only lost 5 probes for all those Ravagers out of ArcTic. Really not the damage he wanted to get. And if you look at the main base of ArcTic here, DTs are doing damage.
Indeed, there's 4 DTs in the main base of ArcTic now. He gets a spawning
pool. Oh, he did lose 1 DT there. That means he's going to have 1 less Archon. That's a really big deal. Replacement pylons are down at the wall of Magnath here. Looks like both players are sizing up to transition into a more macro-oriented game here. Ideally, we'd see a 3rd base out of Magnath here in the next few minutes. He is dropping 3 more gateways and more pylons.
Charge in production now as well. I don't know if he wants to take a 3rd this game.
Yeah, I don't know either. 2 Archons being morphed in at the near the main base of ArcTic. Those Archons are going to be able to challenge the units that ArcTic has. Spawning pool was replaced.
ArcTic, bit of indecision, not too sure what he wants to spend that larva on. We do see Overlord speed in production, so I think he's nervous, wants to get a better read on his opponent.
Okay, and down go the Archons. Magnath's looking to get some damage, force a bunch of units out of his opponent here. Ideally, you want to get more than Zerglings, but ArcTic doing a good job of controlling his units and keeping those Archons at bay, not losing a single drone. So there is a mortal misrallied across the map here from Magnath. That could be unfortunate. It's a previous rally from the Prism. You hate to see that. It happens to me. Oh, he does grab that immortal and sends him home. He says, "You're not that immortal. Get."
Indeed, a good catch by him. That would be an expensive loss. Warp Prism coming in, trying to get some more harass done, but ArcTic is all over it.
Okay, 3rd base just now going down for Magnath. He is going to be significantly behind the Zerg in economy here for about the next minute until that Nexus is done building. He has been probing behind this. He is oversaturated on the main and natural, so he'll have a full mineral line once the base is built. He just has to wait for it to finish first. And that does open up the potential for counterattack for ArcTic. He is going to scout that out
right away, yeah.
All right, so let's see what happens here. It's going to be a moment of tension here for Magnath till this 3rd base goes. He cannot afford to cancel that Nexus. To do so would essentially be GG.
Warp Prism back in the main base, looking to get some damage done. Again, only wings.
All right, so I do like this strategy here for Magnath. The best defense is a good offense. Keeping his opponent at home with the Arc. Going to do more than enough to keep that 3rd base safe. So well played out of Magnath there. Good decision making, I think, on the hands of the Platinum Protoss.
The changeling down for ArcTic, walking into the natural now, is probably going to get a scout off.
Yeah. Now, ArcTic keeping those queens on the right side of the main there, swatting that Warp Prism away. The Warp Prism getting precariously low on health, down to 50 now. No shields. To lose that Warp Prism would be a lot of... I really like the DTs positioned on the tower here for Magnath. That's really cool. Because if you're not really paying attention, you may not notice that the opponent's controlling that vision tower.
Yeah, definitely. There's also one right near the wall in the natural. I'd like to see him move that down and plug that wall with the DT.
Yeah. If you take a look at the middle of the map here, the Prism's going to spot a massive move out from the Zerg. That is 102 supply of Roach Ravager. He's going to poke at it with the Archons, but that is just almost too many units to mess with. Roach speed finishing up here in 10 seconds. This is going to be a powerful attack. Storm, let's take a look at the upgrades panel. Storm is not ready yet from Magnath. Is it on the way? Let's find his. Okay.
It's halfway done, but it will not be ready in time.
So a bit of a critical timing here for ArcTic to hit before Storm is finished. Let's see what he does. I do want to point out that Magnath's doing an excellent job of controlling the map here with that Prism, holding back over 100 supply of Roach Ravager with just a couple of Archons, giving himself time to build up and get Storm, even trying to take a 4th base behind. Okay, Hydras will come in and shut that Prism down, though. That is a bit of an expensive loss, but I do think the map control that he bought with it was worth it.
I agree. It really delayed ArcTic's attack to the point that he couldn't even commit to it. He's just going to go back, go home, try and secure that 4th.
Right, and this is a bit of an uncomfortable position for the Zerg now because maxed out Roach Ravager armies are not as powerful as a maxed out Protoss army, and he is now entering the position where he needs to trade this Roach Ravager army efficiently before the Protoss gets too many key tech units. And if you take a look at Magnath's army here, he has got a huge amount of charge lots, and the energy on those High Templar is increasing.
Yeah, he warped those in very, very quickly. Morphed a couple into Archons, and he's just waiting, buying time with the rest.
So it seems like a bit of indecision here out of ArcTic as he's trying to best determine a course of action for his huge Roach Ravager army here. But if you take a look at the supply here, the supply is only in favor of the Zerg by about. And I do think that Magnath with the +1 attack here is actually going to have a very convincing fight with the Zerg.
Well, we're about to find out. When Storm comes down, Bile's landing all over those Immortals.
Some pretty good connections onto the Zealots there, but that +1 attack, those Zealots are just mulching through those roads. Magnath's going to back off there, only losing about 10 supply in that whole fight.
Indeed, and ArcTic was maxing out again. His worker den has finished now, so you see a couple Hydras in production. I do think those will morph into workers right away.
All right, so if you take a look at the unit count here, there's 7 High Templars, 6 Immortal, 4 Archons for Magnath. That is way stronger than the Zerg army, and if the Zerg takes this fight, he is going to get... This is really scary for ArcTic. This is so close to his base, he's not going to have time to reinforce.
A couple massive storms did land there. ArcTic freeing up another 25 or so supply. 6 workers in production now.
So on the right-hand side of your screen, you can see Burrow and Tunneling Claws have just finished for the Zerg. I think ArcTic's only shot here is to try to get a counterattack with those Roaches somewhere to pull Magnath's army away from his base. Because as it stands, he is not going to be able to hold this Protoss army. He just doesn't have enough time to reinforce. Huge storm going down on the ramp there. Lurkers are actually going to change the fight significantly there. I missed the Lurker Den.
That ramp is not where you want to be, though. He was choked up huge there, and again, like you said, massive storms landing. ArcTic really on the back foot here, just desperately trying to hang on to this 4th, with Protoss knocking at his door.
I do want to point out, though, that he has managed to trade away most of the Roaches and Ravagers here without losing the 4th base, which is almost exactly where you want to be, because it lets you transition into those more efficient tech units. If you take a look at the production tab here, you can see that he has the Tunneling Claws upgrade on the way, and Aspire is done.
A huge Zealot run by into the 3rd base. ArcTic has to pull back.
We're up to 16, 17, 18 drone kills. That entire mineral line wiped out by the Zealots. Splitting his attention here, Magnath moves into the Roaches in the middle as the Zealots are counterattacking. This puts our Zerg in a very uncomfortable position here. He's on his ramp.
Again, huge storms going down. That Observer is still alive for Magnath, so he was able to spot and kill those workers.
Hydra's doing really good DPS here. It's just not going to be enough to stop the Protoss army. Those Immortals are earning their namesake here. GG going to come out. Magnath actually upsetting the MMR difference, taking a game off of the Diamond 2 Zerg. Awesome play from Magnath. Wow, what a match, Winter. What do you think about that one?
Indeed, that Zealot run by at the 3rd was exactly what the Zerg needed to do instead. Magnath just took the fight right to the Zerg's doorstep and was just unrelenting. Just kept trading 20 supply, 20 supply, 20 supply. And ArcTic really could not develop that solid army and take the fight that he needed to.
Yeah, I agree. That was a pretty exciting game. I would say almost textbook out of Magnath there to delay his opponent with the map, not letting him use that maxed out Roach Ravager army, which is less efficient than a maxed out Protoss army. Gave Magnath the time he needed to get those expensive tech units, to get those storms, and crush his opponent with the tech. Because by the time his opponent had enough Hydras out, it was just too late. He was knocking on his door.
Indeed, that would have been of indecision too in the middle of the map, in the mid game from ArcTic. I think if he just went for it right away, he might have been able to trade a bit better. But that indecision and with the delayed fourth really sent him behind.
Right. And also, we did see the expensive tech choices of Roach Burrow and Tunneling Claws. Sorry, Burrow and Tunneling Claws out of the Zerg player there, but not really finding any value for that. Maybe a Roach counterattack with Burrow or a Tunneling Claws would have been enough to distract Magnath there to give the Zerg enough time to get those more expensive tech units. But it's hard to say. It's all conjecture, and obviously we have perfect information. Those players fighting for their lives have far from it.